Hey, Matt.
Yeah.
Do you like surprises?
No, they're terrifying.
Well, I love surprises.
They're the only thing I like less than clowns.
Okay. Okay, I agree with you on that. But I love surprises.
Okay.
I bet you can't surprise me.
I think I could.
Really?
Probably. Because I've had a good idea recently. I think we should start coming to shows where only one of us knows what the word is.
To be completely honest, you're usually the only one that knows what the word is anyways.
Facts, people.
Yeah.
Facts.
I'm just here for my looks on a podcast that you can't see.
Yeah. That's the only way that you could possibly be here for your looks.
Nailed it.
Stuck the landing there, Carrie.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think I can surprise you with the word this week.
I sure hope you can.
I think it might even be a word that you'd use to describe this podcast versus all the other podcasts you've ever recorded.
What podcast is this?
This podcast is Hang Out with Your Slang Out, but it's also your Bay podcast.
Ooh.
I was thinking the other day the female version of goat is probably bae.
Why?
Just because that's a term that females use more than males.
Bae means, but what does bae mean?
Before anything else. Like you're putting them above everything else.
Bae is actually an acronym for... Are you serious?
Yeah, I think I'm serious. That's what I've heard.
I've never heard that.
I'm serious that that's what I've heard. Now, whether I'm serious and that's actually the answer, who knows? It's funny that you said the thing about babe, because I think the first time I heard it, I thought that's what it was. I was like, this is really stupid that they took the word babe and just dropped out a letter and now it's a whole new term.
That's all I thought it was. I didn't know it actually stood for something.
Yeah. Go ahead, look it up. We'll wait.
I'm going to have to. I mean,
internet friends, while he's looking it up, let's talk about things going on.
And we've often said at times that this is not the podcast to come to learn anything. But I just learned something.
Well, they're not coming to learn that. You showed up to host this to learn that, apparently.
Oh my God. Urban Dictionary says it's an acronym that stands for before anything else.
Holy shit. Not only is it an acronym, but I got the acronym right.
Or a shortened version of baby or babe. And that's what I thought it was. Wow. Oh my goodness. Another word for sweetie and mostly unrelated, poop in Danish. I have heard that.
Means poop in Danish?
Yeah, babe means poop in Danish.
So. Well, if I'm thinking this through properly, and I'm not, your bae is something that you feel stronger about than anything else, right? So they would be like the shit. So I guess poop in Danish is an accurate translation.
So in Danish, are they literally like, I got to go take a
When
bae?
you said, for the record, when you said poop in Danish, all of a sudden I was thinking of a Danish with poop in it. And I was like, why would they poop in a Danish? That should be reserved for things like croissants.
So that'll be the cover of this episode.
Poop in Danish.
Poop in a Danish. It'll be the emoji poop, though.
Perfect.
We don't want to offend anybody. Because God knows we don't ever do that.
Is poop in Danish anything like a shit sandwich?
I can't.
Shit on a shingle.
How many times are we going to figure out a way to say shit? Maybe this episode should be shit and not bae.
I don't know about that, but this episode might be the shit.
Okay, we'll take that.
Crap on a cracker.
It's the bae of episodes.
Yeah.
Take a whiff. He's the bae.
Does that smell like salty and like fish dying? Oh, you mean the word we're talking about, not B-A-Y, B-A-E. Yeah. Got it.
Well, that should be the other thing is if you don't know anything about the word bae, you would probably initially think we're just saying the word bae, like B-A-Y.
Right. And
like
as a kid from the East Bay, extra confusing. Mm-hmm. Like, is there an East before anything else? Would that be the East Bay?
Can you have a bae?
When Beyonce, who I think goes by bae, except I think she goes by B-E-Y as bae.
She's Queen Bee. That's all I know.
I don't know. All I know is that when she was on tour in the Bay Area, apparently it was the Bay Area.
Yeah, that would get confusing using bay in the Bay. Have you ever taken a bay in the Bay?
No, you don't really take people in the Bay. The Bay itself isn't very exciting. That's why they imprison people there.
Well, I thought that's why. Well, wouldn't it be a good place to drop a bay?
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah, a bay in a bay.
Well,
So you could have a bay.
possibly, but there's like a lot of salt that gets harvested in the Bay, and so I don't think you'd want Bay on your salt.
So you could take your bay to the Bay. And
Salt Bay. You see what I did? That it was Bay in your Salt Bay.
Salt Bay.
Fair. Why does he exist as some sort of celebrity?
Okay, that's better.
Because he can cut meat. There are a lot of people that can cut meat. Gino in New York City, that guy, man, you should watch him cut some meat.
You should. You know what? There'll probably be a lot of people who don't
Not to be
remember.
confused with Gino's cheesesteaks in Philly. Anyways, go
So
ahead.
Salt Bay was a guy who got immortalized in a meme where he's got his forearm popped out and he's sprinkling salt on everything, and it got used everywhere. And he ran to the bank with that. And I think the last time I saw him, he was at the World Cup, right?
I think so. I just don't understand like why he's Salt Bay and not Tinkerbell.
Because they sprinkled like fairy dust.
Yeah, pixie dust.
Pixie dust.
Salty pixie dust.
I forgot about that guy. I can't believe that guy's on your mind.
I also don't, because it was Salt Bay BAE, but like, do you think as a person that he put salt before anything else?
I don't know. The guy
Because
doesn't.
again, it's like half of his fame was from cutting meat in really fancy but unnecessary ways.
Yeah. I guess. I thought it was just for looking like a guy who doesn't wear deodorant and then sprinkling shit on stuff. All right. So back to the original Bay. Not the Bay Area, but Bay as in the term for babe, right?
If you think if a girl was dating a guy named Michael, she'd call him Michael Bay. Probably not if she wanted to keep him around. Boy, that guy sucks.
Who's Michael Bay's Bay?
Fire.
Explosion.
Because it causes
Pyro?
explosions.
Yeah. Kerosene.
Michael Bay's Bay would have to be Prometheus, I believe, because he gave the world fire.
I think it's just money.
Without him, pyrotechnics do not exist.
Do you use the word Bay?
Actually-
Like, do you ever use it?
Not seriously.
Okay. Same here. I mean, I've used it, but not.
I'm sure I've used it in jest a couple times, but like I would never refer to Candace as that. I feel like it's a weird way of telling somebody that you care about them. I throw in the extra letter and just call her babe.
Gotcha. I think we sound silly if we call people Bay. It's definitely got a youth vibe to it, even though it's not that new anymore. It's been around for a little bit.
It's got a youth vibe, and I think I said this earlier, I feel like more women use it as a term than men use it as a term. My Bay would be the San Francisco.
Okay.
Because, I grew up there.
You ever taken a Bay in a Bay?
What's going to beat it?
Have you taken a Bay in that Bay?
No, I have not. That was the same Bay we were talking about earlier when you asked if I had taken a Bay in the Bay.
Did I ever get a real answer?
Tampa Bay, yes. Place is a shit sandwich anyway.
Everybody takes a Bay in the Bay.
Sorry, everybody from Tampa Bay. But be proud that I said Tampa Bay and not Tampa, because I know you hate that.
Do they?
Yeah. But I will tell you this, there's a reason that I call the San Francisco Bay the Bay, because it's the only bay that anybody cares about. Bay of Pigs, secondary.
You're going to get a bunch of Green Bay fans after us.
Okay.
Oh.
What are they going to do? Just brag about their ownership of their local sports team?
Yes.
That's
And
all they
cheese.
can brag about.
And cheese.
They can't even brag about their cheese. They can brag that their cheese fits on top of their heads.
That's a pretty good move, though.
I'm just saying, if you give me Humboldt Fog over any cheese that comes out of Wisconsin, literally any singular cheese that comes out of Wisconsin.
I don't know. I don't know why I'm defending Green Bay. They're our rivals. Well,
yes, but your entire rest of your family, other than you, seems to like them.
Yeah.
I don't know why that happened. Why did that happen? I've always been meaning to ask this question. How did they become Green Bay fans?
It's because it's my dad's team. So my brother.
Why
took
is
to
it your
that.
dad's team? Did he grow up in Wisconsin?
I think. Well, no, he grew up in Illinois, so I think he was being anti Bears.
So was his family all Bears fans?
I don't know. I never got asked that. That's a good question, though. Huh? I could check.
So in this situation, you are your dad. You picked a different team to be anti the rest of the family.
I picked a different team because
the Niners rule and Green Bay sucks.
because of Montana and Rice. They made me love the sport. The
GOAT offense of all time. Wait, I guess I don't need to say of all time. The GOAT offense.
It's a Bay. Can it be the Bay offense?
It could be the Bay offense.
Yeah.
That offense was before anything else.
All right.
Especially because Bill Walsh invented that offense. It was before any of the following offenses that mimic the West Coast style of offense.
What's weird is the first team I did like was the Bears.
Really?
Yeah, because of Walter Payton. I just remember turning on and watching the guy run, and you're a little kid, and it's like that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. So I thought, I guess I liked the Bears, but then when I actually learned football and how to play and watch the teams,
then I realized they were terrible and had to pick a different team.
I just fell in love with Montana and Rice. How do you not? They made the sport beautiful, and then it didn't hurt that they were really good. And then they what they didn't do? They didn't gloat, and I've always hated when people gloat, especially in sports. There's times for it where it's cool, but
Jerry gets into it a little bit now.
Well, he's 100.
I mean, he has to remind all these young punks that he will always be a better receiver than they could ever possibly be.
But he was the first. He was like the first guy that had all the records, had all the stuff, and he just did his job. Didn't run his mouth, nothing. He let all that speak for himself, and he carried himself with class. And I love that.
I think the toughest part about this, and I don't want to give any credence to Tom Brady if I can avoid it, but I think Jerry always got lost in Montana shadow. Like everybody thought Montana was just the one doing all the stuff. Montana's numbers don't exist without Jerry Rice.
No, true.
Like his yard after catch numbers are insane.
Yep.
Like he knew how to get to the point where the ball was supposed to be and then what to do after the ball hit him in the hands.
Oh yeah. It was Magic.
No, Magic played for the Lakers.
Magic
he was a basketball player.
Totally different sport.
I understand what you're saying about Walter Payton, though. I was kind of the same way about Barry Sanders.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not that I ever became a Lions fan, because who would be a Lions fan? But but watching him once he had the ball in his hands was something magical, because it had to be. Their offensive line was terrible. Their quarterbacks were terrible. So you knew he was getting the ball 75% of the time, and he would still beat you.
Yeah, that's what was fun. Yeah, I'll give you that. All right, so back to Bay.
Okay. Who's your Bay pet? Currently or past? Don't worry, Guillermo's not in here. You can say any name.
I have two. So I had a dog when I was literally born that took care of me for like the first 5 or 6 years. Her name was Evie. Or it's
That's
the first.
Why you're fluent in dog.
Yeah, I'm totally fluent in dog. Or it's
was Evie named after the character that put her fingers together to freeze time? Evie Garland.
Who the hell is that?
It was. I knew you were going to ask that question, and I should probably remember the show. But she was an alien that had the power to freeze time by putting her fingers together.
On what?
It was like a Fox after school type show, I want to say. Out of This World. That's what it was called. Out of This World.
I never watched that. Okay, I thought you were going to say like...
It's probably too young for you. Like you were probably well into high school by the time it got popular.
Yeah.
At which point
I remember the name
for you at all.
Yeah. I thought you were going to be like Degrassi Junior High or something like that.
No, we don't talk about Drake on this podcast.
Thank you. That was in our contracts. We had to both sign that.
Yeah.
I'm going to be fined for even bringing it up. So that's how it goes.
Anyway, so Evie or
the first dog that me and my wife got, we adopted a little lab mix, and her name was Tika, and she was like the perfect dog. So we kind of hold all the dogs we get now to her standard. So she lived a nice, long, happy life, and I know I'll get a lab again one day just because of her. She was a black lab, so she was pretty amazing. So, what's your answer?
I guess if I had to pick your Bay animal, I'd probably pick Tika. I don't know. Oh, you want me to pick mine?
Yes. Out of those two, well, I'll give you more. I'll give you a couple more. There's Guillermo, my new fancy French bulldog.
He's pretty great. Or Tank, the largest penis in Arizona. surrounded by a dog.
Yeah. So bad that it's stealing from his other organs.
Sure is.
Yeah. His wiener's thriving, but the rest of him's not.
So bad, but so true.
Uh,
I don't know. I have a tough time. So my dad got my stepmom and I, well, got my stepmom. I just happened to be there. Gracie, when she was a black lab mix.
Hey.
And she was pretty great. Gracie was great because she was my first dog. And she was just awesome. Like, it was my first time getting to watch something with a personality like grow from baby to.
And you're also like that, at this point, you're at an age where you can appreciate everything. So like my first love dog, I was just so young.
Yeah.
So that's why Tika sticks with me, I think, too.
It's hard to rank. Penny was my first on my own, and she's also by far the smartest animal I've ever had.
Really?
She really took to training well. She's lost all that since then because we haven't put the work in to keep her going. But she was a really well-trained dog for a long time. Dudley's up there because that was the first like big gift that Candace got me was my Basset Hound, and he's a Basset Hound, and all Basset Hounds are great.
Dudley's cool. He's so cool that we're going to name your breakfast restaurant after him.
Basted?
Dudley's?
Oh, I thought it was going to be basted.
Maybe we should have the viewers vote on this. Listeners.
There it is. They view with their ears. Radar was pretty great. Radar was the blind one we had that literally followed me everywhere.
Still the best name ever.
Yeah. Well, Sonar would have been better, but Radar was pretty good.
I don't know. I'm a MASH guy, so using Radar. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, out of all of them, I think if I had to pick one, sentimentally, Dudley, but emotionally, Penny.
Okay. All right. Hey, send us pics of your dogs or your pets. Any of your pets. They can be any kind.
Unless they're hairless cats. Please don't send us pictures of those. Those are disgusting.
But what if it's their bae?
Okay, send us, but send like a jump scare warning. Have you heard your kids use the term bae?
I think I've heard Jaden use it not too often. I think I've heard Livy use it, but she was like talking about like her best friend, like Kate or something like that. Like they were lovingly talking to each other like that. And, but I've never heard Jaden use it in the as using it for the term it is. He's just used it to describe something, or that's so-and-so's bae, or.
That's why I think it's interchangeable with goat, though.
Think so?
I think so.
Okay. We need to come up with a rating system for our dislikes and likes of the slang words. We do a whole lot of like, I hate this one or I don't hate this one.
I believe at one point I gave my worst review ever, which was 7 thumbs up. Are we going to do a simple 5 scale or 10 scale, or?
Can we do something like 13, my favorite number?
That's too hard to math.
Well, then let's cut that in half. We'll do 6.5.
Perfect. That's much easier. Let's go with that.
6.5.
Well, now that you put it that way, that's easier than 6.5.
Mm-hmm. Well, 6.5 is going to be fun to type online. So every babe.
We should actually, don't anybody steal this idea. In fact, maybe don't even put it on the recording when we go live with this, but we should make a shirt that says all bae every day.
But spelled with a BAE?
Yeah. People would buy the hell out of that shirt.
Done.
Or a sticker. Or both.
Done. Yeah. If this comes out, it won't be up for a while. So
they would buy it like for their partners and such.
Mm-hmm.
So they could be like, yeah, that mug means me.
I don't know. Bae's been an interesting word. I still think it's just a play off of a shortening baby. Like, hey, bae. That's what fits the most. I like the idea of a Danish poop myself. I think that's fun.
Well, who wouldn't love to poop in Denmark?
Think we could make that happen?
Wasn't there a word when we were young that was a slang term that meant something like an elephant's penis? Was that dude?
No. I mean, I don't know. I didn't follow the dude. I didn't follow penis slang too much.
Because I don't know why you have to lie to our listeners.
Well, I just call my penis Thor. Not call him Helmsworth.
Because it brings the hammer. Yeah, there was something like that. I don't remember what word it was. And I don't even know if it was accurate. It may have just been people making fun of the people using that word. But there was some slang term that meant elephant genitalia or something like that. It was something related to an elephant, and I don't remember what it was.
I just remember elephantitis all the time.
Not to be confused with the sitcom Titus.
Yeah. Boy, did we spin out from Bay right there.
We sure did.
Holy crap. Woo. Got whiplash on
I'm not an animal. I'm a human being.
And I haven't heard. I never heard dude used in that aspect. But we'll cover that during dude.
Sure.
That would be perfect. Talking about penises through dude.
What's your Bay fast food restaurant?
Fast food? Oh, shoot. I don't know anymore. I don't know if I have one.
Also, it's important to note, what do you consider fast food? Does it have to have a drive-through window?
I think it should.
Okay. I'm just asking the question because I know you're going to ask me mine, and my original thought didn't have a drive-through window.
I would consider stuff like Sonic and In-N-Out, though, where you pull up.
You know what's funny? It's actually during Lent, sometimes I would give up fast food, but I would allow myself to eat at places that might be considered fast food, but just didn't have a drive-up window.
That's a slippery slope, my friend.
Kind of, but generally the places that don't have a drive-through window, it is, or it can be at least, healthier food. Like, I think some of them have them now, but for a long time, Chipotle never had a drive-through.
Same with Panda. Like, a lot of the Pandas don't have drive-through.
Right. And I would still, even as unhealthy as Panda probably is, I still would consider it healthier than most drive-through window fast food places.
Okay. Oh, shoot. I don't know. I want to go In-N-Out.
Disgusting.
But it depends on the In-N-Out. I've had In-N-Out where I don't like it, and I've had In-N-Out where it was glorious. So it just depends on the In-N-Out.
Yeah. I don't know if we have an episode on overhyped, but I will give you my opinions on In-N-Out.
I figured you would totally be an In-N-Out.
I hate In-N-Out.
Really?
Hate is a strong word. I strongly dislike In-N-Out.
Even California's
The only thing that I can, just because I don't have to like everything from California. Anyways,
that's a lie.
The only thing that I can really get behind is impressively that they've kept their prices relatively low over time.
Really low.
Which that part's impressive.
Yeah.
But like I could get a burnt hamburger bun and low quality meat anywhere.
True.
Oh, you get to watch them cut French fries. That's exciting. Yeah, there's nothing I like about it. And it's funny because my dad and my uncle, who grew up in Southern California, were there for the advent of In-N-Out, loved In-N-Out until they had Five Guys for the first time.
Five Guys is really good.
Five Guys is also way too expensive. If Five Guys could figure out
the opposite.
Yeah. If Five Guys had figured out a way to price themselves, not necessarily in line with In-N-Out, because I think In-N-Out is somehow like, I don't know, raising fake cattle and making their meat out of that because it's cheaper. I don't know. I don't know how they're keeping prices so low. But the point is if Five Guys could bring their prices back down in that direction, they would blow up everywhere.
Yeah.
Because their stuff is so much better. And your ability to choose, it'd be a nightmare to work at. I always say that I never want to work at a place where everything's build your own. That's terrifying.
Those are always the best foods, though.
Yeah. Well, they're the best foods for the consumer because you're getting exactly what you want.
Gotcha.
And you have nobody to blame but yourself if you don't like it. Well, unless they like burnt something. But
well, we can blame other people.
Well, no, I'm done with my diatribe about In-N-Out. But In-N-Out's your choice?
Yeah, I'll go In-N-Out. Are you going Five Guys?
No, because we set the parameters of drive-through window.
Do any of them have drive-through?
None that I've ever encountered.
Yeah, I've never seen one with it.
And actually, I don't even know if that would have been it. I don't even know if this one still exists. There was one when I was in college called Pickup Sticks. It was like a quick serve Chinese restaurant. Basically, it was Pei Wei, but not owned by P.F. Chang's, which technically now Pei Wei is also not owned by P.F. Chang's, but we won't get into that.
I never heard of that place.
But it was sort of that quick serve. But yeah, no, I don't think anybody did. But everything about what they did was better than anything I'd had. But if I had to pick one with a drive-through, and this would probably be mostly emotionally linked because my dad and I went to both of these places quite often, it would be either Carl's Jr. or Wiener Schnitzel.
Well, and Carl's Jr. is also known as Hardee's on the East Coast.
Yes, I know.
Well, I'm hoping we have some East Coast listeners.
Because my buddy Aaron actually wrote a couple commercials for them.
Will he write us a commercial?
Not unless we're selling biscuit holes.
Biscuit holes?
So Hardee's, for a period of time, had a breakfast item called biscuit holes. Because they didn't want them to be donut holes, I guess. I don't know. And so he helped write a commercial for that. And still one of the best ideas I've ever heard, and wish that I had lived in an area where it existed. And I think you can still pull up the video on YouTube and stuff. But it's a person going around giving people 2 different samples, and they have to pick one or the other, but you get to pick either A holes or B holes.
Holes or B holes.
And both of those are hilarious.
That's pretty clever.
And yeah,
I was thinking Biscuit Hole is a new band name.
Could be.
Yeah.
Actually, get new stickers. We've just named this podcast Biscuit Hole.
Biscuit Hole. Bay Hole.
But yeah, Carl's Jr. and Wiener Schnitzel would be my top 2. Okay. I once ate an entire family pack of Wiener Schnitzel. That's 6 chili dogs and 3 sets of fries.
Oh my goodness. That just gave me indigestion.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's a wonder I'm so svelte.
Yeah. Wow. That beard hides a lot.
Sure does. Lots of canned chili.
Oh my goodness.
You know, you can buy Wiener Schnitzel chili by the can now.
But why would you do that?
Because it's delicious.
Oh.
For hot dogs specifically. I wouldn't eat the chili on its own, I don't think. Do you think you'd call this our Bay episode?
I will call it our Bay episode, but is it? I think the listeners will have to let us know on that.
I kind of hope they don't. And this can't possibly be their Bay episode. It is a Bay episode. It is the episode about Bay. Mm-hmm. But I don't know that it's the Bay episode. It's pretty good.
It's probably not. Well, I mean, yeah, this is pretty good, but I mean, it's probably not our best episode.
No.
I put that in the wrong spot.
I'd already started taking my headphones off in a fit of tears.
Hang out with your slang out, not the Bay episode. Not the Bay podcast. Bay episode, Bay podcast, Bay co-host, Bay. Ooh, that almost sounds like baby.
Bebe.
Can you do that with your British accent?
No.
Will you do it with your British accent?
No.
This podcast is over. Thanks for listening.
Hello, bye. Yeah, see, I don't think they use the A, very frequently. They use the A very frequently.
You went real hard on the bye.
You have to. There's like no other way to do it.
You can't pull that bye.
If there are any people in England listening, if you could get a recording of you saying bay, that would be ideal. I really need to work on it.
I still like bay as poop. What do you guys like?
There's only one other person in the room.
Oh. Well, there'll be 2 other people when this is put out there, right?
Oh, right. What do both of you like? Bay as poop or bay as a complimentary term to something you like?
Or bay as the best director ever?
Nobody likes that.
No? All right. I think that I'm all bayed out then.
Yeah, I think so too.
I hope I'm somebody's bay one day.
I hope you are too.
Really? Thanks, man.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Another episode ends with love.
I think we're mostly like beases.
What is it?
Before something else. We're not before anything else, but we're before something else. Like, I would imagine to Jen, you're at least before spam.
Is this the same as like before or after Christ?
No.
Can be.
Well, but then this would have to be a flashback episode because BC is in before Christ no longer exists as terminology.
I thought BC was British Columbia.
Well, yes, it's also that. But like the BC AD way of stating dates no longer is valid.
You did that wrong. It's ABCD. Have you never done your alphabets? I'm sorry, listeners. I'll fix this.
Speaking of good cereals, Alphabets.
No time for that.
You could be flavorless and spell.
No.
That's my dream.
He is totally wrong. Everybody be ready. We're ending this episode and he is wrong. See you next week, Slangers. You should sound a little happier when you say this is Hang Out with Your Slang Out. You seem depressed.
This is Hang Out with Your Slang Out.
That's better.
Go, girl.
Perfect. I knew I picked you for a reason. You're so bae. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
This isn't right. I don't want to be a pirate.
I don't want to be a pirate.